Welcome back, Wolfpack. Verlis here, and Alex wanted me to check out this battle for Fan Fridays, so let's go and do that. Looks like this could get interesting because Noivern is opening up into a Gyarados, so probably doesn't want to deal with an Ice Fang or anything like that. And then the rest of the team, we have Rotom as just a good, just central Pokemon, and then Delphox. I wonder if Delphox is going to do anything crazy. That's always the fun part right there, and that's going to be Intimidate on Noivern. Noivern doesn't care, but like I said, probably wants to switch out, doesn't want to have to deal with an Ice Fang or any kind of setup, and Rotom comes in. So Gyarados actually throwing out the Thunder Wave. That's a bit interesting right there, but, it might be like Taunt, Thunder Wave, anti-setup into some kind of slowdown. So that is a good setup, and that means Will-O-Wisp. So Rotom throwing out the Will-O-Wisp, trying to burn that Gyarados. Gyarados doesn't want any of that, and that means Ferrothorn is now burned. Now, we don't know the item on this Ferrothorn because since we didn't attack it, Leftovers applies, then status conditions. So it still might be Leftovers, maybe Rocky Helmet, and that's going to be a switch from Delphox into a Leech Seed. Leech Seed is kind of going to cancel out that burn, because that's really going to be some seriousness, and it does look like Leftovers is on Ferrothorn, so now we're getting all that sustained. Leech Seed back up to full, and then a little bit of extra from the burn. But that means we are most likely going to see a switch out, because Ferrothorn doesn't want to deal with fire types, or just goes for the Protect. Protect isn't going to accomplish too much from like a healing aspect. So Delphox went for the Will-O-Wisp, tried to make that prediction. Prediction didn't work because of the Protect. And Will-O-Wisp would do some serious work to Gyarados, but if he switches in Gardevoir, might not be as serious. And Leech Seed. So the Leech Seed is really only stalling for a little bit of extra of Delphox's health, since he's going to take an 8th from burn at the end of the turn anyway. So there's the withdrawal. Do we get the back-to-back Will-O-Wisp prediction? And is it going to be enough? Actually went into the Gardevoir. So Gardevoir is going to trace that Magician, and then Will-O-Wisp is going to land. So Gardevoir, now we just have like a lot of status and a lot of burn coming across. Not really the most favorable thing, because that Leech Seed, it's just going to kind of cancel it out. So, well, it's weird because it takes the burn, then cancels, then gets the burn. So not really too many craziness going on, and that's going to be Trick. Okay, so Delphox is now Scarfed Power Herb on the Gardevoir. Power Herb isn't going to do too much for Gardevoir, even though it was not very effective hit. Psyshock doing a decent amount of damage, but then Leech Seed, that is going to be very tough to deal with. You need Delphox to make sure you can handle Ferrothorn in the late game. So right now we're just watching a little bit of damage trade right now. That's going to be a switch from the Gardevoir into Ferrothorn. So Ferrothorn going to come in fairly safely, knowing that fire types are going to surprise it, stuck in that Psyshock and doing physical damage. Not very effective, heavily resisted, and now a lot of health back for the Ferrothorn, and then burn at the end of the turn. So long sustain, long status right here. Delphox needs to switch out to stop that seed healing. A lot of turns have passed by now, and that's just getting, it's keeping a lot of Pokemon safe through all that status. So Delphox does switch out, and it's going to be into the Noivern. So Noivern, decent position right now. It's going to eat that knockoff though, so that could be Life Orb gone. That's a Life Orb off of the Noivern, and you can at least Flamethrower onto the Ferrothorn if you have that option, pretty strong, or just maybe go for a prediction. Air Slash going to hit everything pretty reasonably, and that's going to be a very predictable switch out into the Gyarados. But we saw that this Gyarados, actually not Gyarados, Gardevoir. Not sure about that one. So Noivern went for the Flamethrower, might as well go for that damage. Now Gardevoir going to be very vulnerable to that counterattack, and after the burn from that switch in, some craziness. So Noivern, the Air Slash is going to miss, and that is one of the most unfortunate things possible. So Noivern does go down, but now Trick has been burned. Delphox is Scarfed, a lot of Pokemon burned. It's going to be close, and now you could bring in the Rotom. I was thinking you could bring in the Rotom right now. That's at least going to scare off the Gyarados, because he doesn't want to eat a Thunderbolt or anything like that. Psychic with the critical hit for huge damage though. Citrus Berry going to make Rotom healthy again. That was a very strong crit right there. And Rotom with the Thunderbolt. Not really too much else Rotom could do. Burn was going to finish off Gardevoir at the end of the turn. So now Rotom just hanging in there. And that's going to be Ferrothorn coming in. So Ferrothorn is burned. Do have to worry about the Leech Seed. So I mean Rotom switching out. That's going to be free Leech Seed right there. And now we're going to maybe watch another Protect Dance. Something like that. And it could go pretty bad. So Delphox, it is Scarfed. It's going to just have to commit to whatever attack it's using. It's got that flamethrower. It's got the mystical fire. I think that's it. So we can see one of those moves, and it's going to be bad news for Ferrothorn anyways, but you know, it can just sustain back up. Then Rotom's all alone and scared. So maybe the idea is get as much damage down, have Rotom try to clean up, because Rotom, Thunderbolt on that Gyarados. Gyarados cannot deal with this Rotom at all, and there's that Protect, so it is Flamethrower. I mean, Gyarados switches in, that's going to be a bit of damage. That's Rotom versus the Ferrothorn in what could be a very nasty stall battle. Ferrothorn too good. It's just going to sit in there and be frustrating. So boom, already almost back up to full. Now at what, 3/16 of its health missing. Delphox switches out. What's Ferrothorn going to do? Does he get the prediction of that Leech Seed? No. Double switch. All right. So double switch, good call right there. Just knowing, you know, he's going to switch, and that means we gotta go for that Thunderbolt. We gotta go for something, and that is going to be a withdrawal. So I mean, is this even more like Switch mind games? Like, are we going to switch into Delphox now? That would be ridiculous. No, just Rotom going for that Thunderbolt. Going to scout a little bit of damage, and then that's going to be free burn. So, Ferrothorn, he hasn't shown like Power Whip. He hasn't shown direct threat to Rotom. Rotom without that leftovers though, pretty susceptible, and that's just going to be a Hydro Pump, trying to get as much damage as possible. It's going to try to counteract that Leech Seed. So Leech Seed, that's going to land, and I mean, here's where you can make that switch, you know. Ferrothorn might go for the Protect. Ferrothorn might go for something, and we haven't seen crazy damage options. So as long as Delphox isn't seeded, Delphox can stay in and play that game. But the Flamethrower, it's going to get interesting, and there's a lot of like switch predictions, you know. This game could pretty much just go on forever almost, except for that burn. That burn is keeping us where, you know, it just can't be an infinite switch rotation. So Rotom switching out into Delphox. Delphox is like, alright, let's do this. And there's the Power Whip. So Delphox going to eat that Power Whip and survive with 1 hit point. That seems to be a trend this week. That Tyranitar, you know, had weakness policy, survived a hit point. Now, the interesting thing about that battle is I ran damage calculations afterwards, and that seemed like some of the maximum damage that, because of the way the Sandstorm works, boosting special defense, and Hyper Voice's damage getting split up, looked like Gyarados was, or not Gyarados, Tyranitar was still pretty safe. So that's going to be Gyarados coming in. That's going to be Flamethrower from the Delphox. I mean, if burn happens right here, that would be legit. But no, it doesn't. Delphox switching out. Gyarados might have to just go for some damage, try to get that Rotom off. But now, here's where it gets good, because Waterfall, that's probably not going to knock out Rotom. We're going to check the damage on that. Yeah. Really close on the damage right there. So Gyarados does switch out. Doesn't want to take the risk. You know, Waterfall might get a low roll on that damage. Here's the thing. If he goes for, like, Confuse Ray. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. I'll see if he goes for that Thunderbolt, you know, with the burn into a Hydro Pump. That could be enough to get that Ferrothorn really close to death. So Ferrothorn needs to hit itself. It's going to take that burn. If it doesn't get the Leech Seed off, that could be devastating. And now we have Delphox at 1 hit point. We have Rotom really low. That's going to be the Avoid right there from the Hydro Pump. Ferrothorn does hit itself in confusion. Going to lose the 16th of its health this turn because of leftovers into that burn. I mean, Rotom, can we get an... If Ferrothorn hits itself and we land that Hydro Pump, that could be it. So Rotom's going to use that Hydro Pump. And the Confuse Ray tech looks like it might pay out this battle. Yeah, that's... Oh, no, he snaps out of confusion. That's going to be Leech Seed. So that's going to get pretty clutch right now. Rotom seeded. There's the gain. That's going to be Seed Health. That's Hydro Pump after the burn. Could it be enough? Might need that Miracle Crit. Might need the Miracle Crit. So that's going to be health back. I think Hydro Pump could be enough. We need that Hydro Pump to land. Actually, Rotom goes for the switch. Doesn't want to play that game. Maybe understanding, you know, might go for something else. Yeah, there's that Protect. So getting the prediction on the Protect. Protect is going to fail right there. And now Delphox has the upper hand. It's in good Psyshock range. Like, it can Psyshock to finish and then Psyshock to outspeed the Gyarados. Because of that, Gyarados switching into a free Psyshock right here. Potentially. Maybe the Will-O-Wisp? Nah. Will-O-Wisp could be a game changer as well. Delphox, though, going for that Psyshock. Playing that damage. So that Stab, that's going to be some good damage on top of the already used Psyshock. Another Psyshock from Delphox. Delphox carrying that momentum. There's the Waterfall. So here's the thing. As we discussed earlier, no, Gyarados needs to be in that, like, Gyarados with that Waterfall. Rotom's on the edge. It's super low. And what can Rotom do to really keep this going? Rotom outspeeds with the Thunderbolt. Never mind, Rotom's just faster. Going to land that Thunderbolt, going to be enough. I mean, you can actually look at this Rotom. It doesn't have a lot of hit points. I think that that's under like the maximum health for Rotom, so it might just be speed modest. And that's why we're seeing the damage. Thunderbolt finish. The crazy sets and strategies and just everything going like that prediction on the Protect, you know. Understanding, well, Ferrothorn has been using Protect a lot. He wants to hide behind that Leech Seed with the Protect. Ends up switching out on that Protect turn. Delphox getting enough damage to just disrupt the battle. Enough for the attack offensive Rotom, or special attack offensive Rotom with Confuse Ray. That Confuse Ray also did have a big part in keeping the battle going. I don't even know what to say. That's just a crazy battle out of nowhere. Like the BattleSpot, rating BattleSpot. All of a sudden, this battle got intense down to the wire. Clutch survivals and all. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. One more Fan Fridays coming up for this week, and get ready for that.